Wild medicine. How animals harness beneficial diets for health and survival. Picture a rainforest buzzing with life, a grassy savanna stretching to the horizon, or a quiet farm where animals graze under the sun. In each of these places, creatures from monkeys to wolves to sheep are doing something remarkable. They are not just eating to fill their stomachs, they are choosing foods that act like medicine. These aren't one-off remedies for a sudden illness, but everyday dietary choices packed with non-nutritional components, chemicals that fight parasites, soothe digestion, or boost resilience. This fascinating behavior, part of the broader field of zoopharmacognosy, animals instinctively using nature's remedies, shows how deeply animals are tuned into their environment. Let's take a deep dive into the world of wild medicine, exploring how animals across the globe incorporate beneficial diets into their lives, why it matters, and what it teaches us about health, survival, and the natural world. The hidden power of everyday diets. When we think about a healthy diet, we often focus on the basics: proteins for muscle, carbohydrates for energy, vitamins for vitality. For animals in the wild, these nutrients are critical too, but their diets go far beyond fuel. Many of the plants, fruits, barks, and even soils they consume contain non-nutritional components, substances like tannins, alkaloids, or saps that don't provide calories but have profound effects on their bodies. These compounds can act as natural dewormers, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, or digestive aids, helping animals tackle challenges like parasites, infections, or upset stomachs. Unlike humans, who can pop a pill or visit a doctor, wild animals rely on their environment as both kitchen and pharmacy. Over millions of years, evolution has honed their instincts, guiding them to foods that meet immediate needs, like hunger, while also delivering long-term benefits, like disease prevention. This isn't always about dramatic acts of self-medication, like a sick chimp seeking a rare herb, though that happens too. More often, it's about the steady, subtle inclusion of medicinal compounds in their daily meals, creating a diet that's as much about healing as it is about eating. Monkeys, nature's parasite fighters. Let's begin in the vibrant rainforests of Costa Rica, home to mantled howler monkeys. These tree-dwelling primates face a persistent threat: intestinal parasites, microscopic worms that burrow into their guts, stealing nutrients and causing fatigue, diarrhea, or worse. But not all howler monkeys suffer equally. In a region called La Pacifica, the monkeys carry heavy parasite loads, looking sluggish and unwell. Meanwhile, in Santa Rosa, their cousins are remarkably healthy, with far fewer worms. The difference boils down to one key ingredient in their environment: fig trees, Ficus species. Santa Rosa's howler monkeys have access to an abundance of fig trees, whose sap has a secret weapon. South American healers have long used fresh fig sap to treat worm infections because it contains enzymes that break down the proteins in parasites, effectively dissolving them. The La Pacifica monkeys, however, live in an area with no fig trees, leaving them defenseless against the same worms. The Santa Rosa monkeys aren't eating figs because they know they are sick. Their diet naturally includes figs as a staple, and the sap's anti-parasite properties come as a built-in bonus. This simple dietary difference creates a striking contrast in health, showing how a single plant can shape an animal's well-being. A similar tale unfolds in Brazil's Fazenda Mantis Claros Park, a haven for endangered muriquis, woolly spider monkeys, and brown howler monkeys. Researchers made a jaw-dropping discovery here: these monkeys were entirely free of intestinal parasites, a rarity in the wild. In other regions, both species typically carry at least 3 types of worms, which weaken them over time. What sets the Mantis claros monkeys apart? Their diet includes a diverse array of plants, many of which local Amazonian communities use as anthelmintics, natural worm killers. These plants, rich in bitter or astringent compounds, disrupt parasite life cycles, keeping the monkeys' guts clean without any conscious effort. It's a powerful example of how a varied, plant-rich diet can act as a daily shield against disease. Great apes, borrowing from traditional medicine. Now let's journey to Tanzania's Maholi Mountains National Park, where chimpanzees roam the forests. These great apes are close cousins to humans, and their diets reveal a surprising overlap with our own traditional remedies. Scientists have documented that Moholy chimps eat at least 26 plant species that local healers prescribe for treating intestinal parasites or the stomach upset they cause. These plants aren't chosen randomly, they are packed with bioactive compounds like alkaloids, tannins, or glycosides that target worms, reduce inflammation, or soothe irritated digestive tracts. For instance, some leaves contain bitter chemicals that paralyze or kill parasites, while others have fibers that help flush worms out of the gut. The chimps don't need a herbalist's guidebook. Their instincts lead them to nibble on these plants as part of their regular foraging. Over time, this steady intake creates a kind of preventive medicine, keeping parasite levels low and helping the chimps stay healthy in a world full of microscopic threats. This connection between chimp diets and human traditional medicine highlights a shared wisdom. Both species have learned to tap into nature's pharmacy, finding plants that heal through centuries of trial and error. Maned wolves, the power of wolf's fruit. Next, let's explore the forests of Brazil, where the maned wolf, a striking, long-legged canine with a golden, red coat, prowls under the moonlight. Unlike typical wolves, this species isn't purely a meat eater. Up to 51% of its diet comes from plants, with one standout favorite, lobiara, or wolf's fruit, Solanum lycocarpum, a tomato-like berry. This fruit is so important that maned wolves go to great lengths to eat a consistent amount year-round, even when it's hard to find during certain seasons. Why the dedication? The answer lies in a deadly threat, the giant kidney worm, a parasite that can ravage a wolf's organs and lead to death. Researchers at Brazil's Brasilia Zoo discovered that captive maned wolves struggled to survive this parasite, unless they were fed lobiara every day. The fruit seems to contain compounds that either weaken the worm or strengthen the wolf's immune system, acting as a natural defense. In the wild, the wolf's love for lobiara likely serves the same purpose, keeping it healthy even in parasite-prone environments. This isn't just a tasty snack, it's a cornerstone of the wolf's diet, a daily dose of medicine disguised as food. Domestic animals, instincts on the farm. Wild animals aren't the only ones with medicinal diets. Domestic animals show similar instincts when given the chance to choose their food. In New Zealand, farmers raising deer noticed a curious trend. When their deer grazed on pastures mixed with tannin-rich plants like chicory, they needed fewer chemical dewormers to stay healthy. Tannins, astringent compounds that give plants a bitter or puckering taste, can bind to proteins in parasites, disrupting their growth or killing them outright. They also help reduce gut inflammation, letting animals absorb nutrients more effectively. Remarkably, deer with parasites seem to sense this benefit. When offered a choice of forages, they gravitate toward bitter, tannin-rich plants like puna chicory, which helps lower their worm loads. It's as if they are diagnosing their own discomfort and picking the plants that ease it, a subtle form of self-medication woven into their grazing. Sheep follow a similar pattern. In Australia and New Zealand, researchers studied forages like Hedysarum coronarium, sulla, Lotus corniculatus, bird's foot trefoil, and Lotus pedunculatus, big trefoil, all rich in condensed tannins. These plants do more than fight parasites, they boost overall health. Nursing ewes on these forages produce more milk, their lambs grow faster, and their wool becomes thicker and stronger. The tannins seem to protect the sheep's digestive system, reducing the damage parasites cause and improving nutrient absorption. Some of these plants also help prevent bloat, a dangerous condition where gas builds up in the rumen, threatening the animal's life. By incorporating these forages into their diets, sheep thrive in ways that go far beyond basic nutrition. Rhinos, extreme doses for extreme problems. Sometimes, an animal's diet takes a dramatic turn, revealing the lengths they'll go to for health. In Asia, the two-horned rhinoceros occasionally engages in a peculiar behavior. It gorges on the bark of the mangrove tree Cereops candelina, which is loaded with tannins. These tannins are so concentrated that the rhino's urine turns a vivid dark orange after eating, a sign of just how much it's consumed. Scientist Daniel Jansen proposed a bold idea. The rhino might be self-medicating against dysentery, a common intestinal illness that causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. Jansen noted that a human anti-dysentery drug, chloroquinol, enteroviaform, is about 50% tannin, suggesting the rhino's bark feast could be a natural equivalent. Tannins can bind to harmful bacteria or toxins in the gut, neutralizing them and helping the body recover. This behavior is rare. Rhinos don't eat mangrove bark every day, but it shows how animals can turn to extreme remedies when facing serious threats. Most of the time, their diets include smaller, steadier doses of beneficial compounds, but in a pinch, they might crank up the dosage, tapping into nature's strongest medicines. The science behind the instincts. How do animals know which plants to eat? The answer lies in a mix of evolution, instinct, and learning. Over countless generations, animals that chose beneficial foods survived and reproduced, passing down instincts that guide their descendants. Taste plays a big role. Bitter or astringent flavors often signal bioactive compounds, which animals learn to associate with feeling better. After eating, their bodies provide feedback. A plant that soothes a stomachache or boosts energy gets a mental thumbs up, while one that causes nausea gets avoided next time. This hedonic feedback, from the Greek word for pleasure, helps animals fine-tune their diets, balancing nutrition with medicine. In some cases, animals may also learn from each other. Young monkeys watch their elders chew certain leaves, picking up dietary habits that keep them healthy. Social learning, combined with individual trial and error, creates a powerful system for navigating nature's complex ladder. Why this matters? The stories of monkeys, wolves, sheep, and rhinos paint a vivid picture. Animals are masters at using their diets to stay healthy. By weaving non-nutritional compounds, like parasite-fighting saps, soothing fruits, or tannin-rich leaves, into their daily meals, they turn every bite into an opportunity for wellness. This isn't about rare, dramatic cures, though those are fascinating too. It's about the quiet, consistent ways their food choices protect them from harm, day after day. For humans, these discoveries are a treasure trove. They inspire new medicines. Many drugs, like quinine for malaria or aspirin from willow bark, trace their roots to plants animals have used for ages. They also guide sustainable farming. By planting diverse, tannin-rich pastures, farmers can reduce reliance on chemical dewormers, keeping animals healthier and the environment cleaner. For example, studies in New Zealand show that chicory-based pastures cut parasite loads in lambs by up to 50%, slashing the need for drugs while boosting growth rates. Beyond practical applications, wild medicine reminds us to respect the wisdom of nature. Animals don't have labs, textbooks, or pharmacies, yet they've spent millions of years perfecting their diets, finding balance in a world full of risks and rewards. Their instincts highlight the interconnectedness of food, health, and environment, a lesson we are still learning in our own quest for wellness. A global perspective. This phenomenon isn't limited to one species or continent, it's a global story. In Africa, elephants eat certain barks to aid digestion or prepare for childbirth. In North America, bears chew on osha roots, which have antibacterial properties, possibly to treat sores or infections. Even birds get in on the act. Parrots in South America eat clay to neutralize toxins in their seed-heavy diets, like a natural antacid. From rainforests to grasslands to farms, animals everywhere are using their diets to solve problems we are only beginning to understand. Looking ahead. As scientists dive deeper into zoopharmacognosy, new questions emerge. How do animals fine-tune their choices in changing environments, like forests altered by climate change? Can we mimic their instincts to create better diets for livestock or even humans? What undiscovered plants are out there, waiting to reveal their secrets through the animals that eat them? Each answer opens doors to innovation, from drug discovery to conservation, as we work to protect the ecosystems that sustain these natural pharmacies. So the next time you see a deer nibbling on bitter weeds, a monkey munching an unusual leaf, or a wolf sniffing out a specific fruit, pause and marvel. It's not just a meal, it's wild medicine, a testament to the extraordinary ways animals harness their diets to thrive. In every bite, they are weaving health, survival, and instinct into a story as old as life itself, reminding us that nature's larder is far more than a source of food, it's a wellspring of healing, waiting to be explored.